Welcome, podcast listeners, to the Lone Road iRacers podcast with me, your host, Guy Robertson. And this episode is all about the November iRacing development update that was released last week. We're going to look at some of the more larger updates in detail. So where iRacing have touched just a little bit on it, we're going to look at the cars in more detail, the tracks in more detail, and a few others along the way. So stick with us as we delve into what's coming in Season 1 2025 and beyond. The first announcement by Greg talks about two new supercars. So what are supercars? We see it on the service, but I don't see big participation. So what is it? So the Repco Supercars Championship was formerly the Australian Touring Car Championship and is the premier motorsport category in Australia and Australasia. Globally, it is recognised as the best touring car category in the world and a leader in motorsport entertainment. From its humble roots as a single race series, the Repco Supercars Championship, previously known as the Australian Touring Car Championship, has grown to deliver accelerating motorsport entertainment to fans across Australia. And it seems that GM and the Camaro are joining with the Ford, and it sounds like they joined in 2024. So I'm going to put some images up of what the two cars look like on the YouTube channel if people just want to take a look at real life cars. They do look quite mean and sporty, and I will also put a link to a video as well that actually shows both of the cars on track racing it side by side with each other in a bit of a demo day as well as it was unleashed. So that is the first new update to brand new supercars to try and kickstart that series again here for us, the iRacers. Moving on now to another car that's been announced, the BMW M2 CSR. It basically says that iRacing have been in collaboration with BMW Motorsports, and both are thrilled to offer the BMW M2 CSR as the latest entry into our iRacing ladder at the rookie level. This car will be based around the 365 HP Club Sport engine package, and our team feels that it's one of the best driving cars for racers who are ready for a small setup in the level of challenge versus our traditional rookie road sports cars. The BMW M2 CSR offers a nice increase in power, and combined with its short wheelbase, the M2 is a great and engaging waypoint between true rookie cars and GT4 cars. And it is going to be a free asset, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the great items around this car. So we're going to look at it in a bit more detail. It has a length of 4,461 millimeters. Width without mirrors is 1,854 millimeters. Width with mirrors 1990 millimeters, and a total wheelbase of 2,693 millimeters. The engine, it's a 6-cylinder inline 4-valve. It uses M twin power turbo technology, direct injection Volvetronic. It's got a 2,979cc capacity with 6 cylinders. For those performance junkies, basic version from a 280 to 365, and we're having the 365. It is 280 to 450 HP, configurable using power sticks depending on balance of performance. Production engines use electronics, performance customizable via stick pack depending on stipulated balance of performance. Transmission 7-speed dual clutch gearbox with motorsport software, a Drexler mechanical limited slip diff with separate cooling, specially manufactured pinion shafts with wheel bearings adopted for motorsport on the rear axle. In the cockpit, you've got your standard air conditioning system. Basic version includes an adjustable Sabre Taurus XL seat, which is an FIA regulation, with the M2 CS Racing embroidery. Center console with illuminated panel control, adjustable steering column, extra large rear view mirrors. Rear view mirror can be adjusted electronically. Well, there's a little niche thing. And it's got a heated windscreen. Well, you might need that in a colder climates, I suggest. What else? Let's have a look. It has an FT3 safety fuel tank. Chassis is a motorsport specific steering arm, adjustable motorsport anti-roll bars at the front and rear, specially adopted motorsport shock absorbers at front and rear. What else? Well, it doesn't actually say from 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 that I can see anywhere on this particular website, folks. So that is a little bit disappointing, but the car looks quite mean. And for rookies and other drivers, I'm sure this BMW, you can see through the images, it looks a mean car. I'm looking forward to painting that car personally and getting out on the track in it. So that's coming soon to Season 1 2025. And before you know it, there's another one up, the Acura NSX GT3 Evo 22. We've been working closely with the great teams at HRC, and this is coming from Greg, Gradient Racing and iRacers Edge Motorsports on the latest entry to our GT3 and Endurance series. The NSX GT3 Evo 22 features a 520 HP 3.5 litre DO8C twin turbocharged engine and rounds off our Endurance series sponsored by IMSA with the 10th GT3. Beyond being an amazing car to drive, the graphics and art team have done an amazing job on the materials for this car. There's not too much else to say about the Acura from the development lab released by Greg, but I put a few images up of real life cars for you. If you're thinking about buying the new GT3, give you at least some understanding what it looks like, folks. Now, on iRacing, there doesn't seem to be a new season without a new Ferrari joining the service. And guess what, folks? iRacing have given us another special, the Ferrari 499p. So Greg's article reads, together with Ferrari, we are so excited to bring the beautiful Ferrari 499p to iRacing. Our development collaborations have been extensive, including a visit to Ferrari HQ in Maranello, Italy, and collaboration with a real-world development team and drivers. The end result is fantastic. The 499p is incredible and thrilling to drive. The 499p will join our now 16-car deep endurance series, as well as the BMW M Hybrid V8, Cadillac V8 Series RGTP, Acura ARX 06 GTP, and Porsche 963 GTP in a reconfigured, reconstituted prototype challenge series. The road car heavy build is stacked, and over racing fans have a lot to look forward to in 3 short months in the March build. So that's basically what Greg's saying. There's a recognition that this release for Season 1 2025 is road car heavy, but oval drivers, it sounds like March is going to be your bag. So through this article, you'll have seen some of the images of the Ferrari in the real world. Now, I can't ever remember. I've drove a Ferrari in the GT3s, but I haven't driven a Ferrari in the prototype series. So that might be something to look forward to as we start 2025 to experience something different on the service. If you're going to buy it, good luck. Let us know in the feedback how it drives. That'll be really interesting to see from your point of view. The iRacers, what is it really like to drive against some of the other GTP class cars? So what more can I tell you about the Ferrari 499P? It is a sports prototype built by Scuderia Ferrari to compete in the FIA World Endurance Championships, specifically in the Le Mans hypercar category since 2023. The introduction of the 499P marks 50 years since Ferrari last fielded a factory-backed sports prototype that contested for the overall win at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and one of the 499P's race with the number 50 as a tribute. The car was unveiled in October 2022 at the Ferrari Finale Mondialani, Ferrari's annual finale for their one make series, the Ferrari Challenge. The car made its competitive debut at the season opening round of the 2023 FIA World Endurance Championships, the 2023 1000 miles of Sebring. On its first outing at the 2023 24 Hours of Le Mans, the 499P, driven by Antonio Giovinazzi, Alessandro Pierguidi and James Calado, won the race. It was Ferrari's first overall victory at the Le Mans since the 1965 24 Hours of Le Mans, ending the streak of 5 victories by Toyota Gazoo Racing. At the 2024 24 Hours of Le Mans, Ferrari achieved its 11th victory, second consecutive at Le Mans since 1965, with the number 50 499P driven by Antonio Fiocco, Miguel Molina and Nicholas Nielsen, while the Ferrari number 51 499P driver Alessandro Pierguidi, James Calado, Antonio Giovinazzi, winner of the last edition, came in third place. The 499P was designed under the Le Mans hypercar regulations, therefore it does not feature the standard parts such as the ones found in cars designed to the Le Mans Daytona regulations, which the 499P also races. The aerodynamics of the 499P were developed in conjunction with Ferrari's styling centre, headed by Flavio Manzoni under Ferdinando Canizzo, head of Ferrari's sports car engineering department. And sorry, I proper cocked that name up. The car's 2,992cc twin turbocharged V6 engine architecture is shared with the Ferrari 296 and its Group GT3 counterpart, the 296 GT3. However, instead of being mounted to the subframe as in the road vehicle, the engine is fully stress member in the 499P and has had various modifications to accommodate its new role as a stress-bearing member. The 499P has semi-permanent all-wheel drive with an electric motor situated at the front axle, providing 200 kilowatts of power. It is connected to a bespoke 900-volt battery pack with the ability to recharge by Ferrari's own energy recovery system. As we know, that is called ERS. So that's a little bit more detail of the Ferrari 499P coming to iRacing, folks, at the start of Season 1 2025. That's very exciting news. Well done, iRacing. Finished all the new car surprises in the upcoming season. Now we're going to move on to tracks. This one is we already knew about anyway, but it's the Thruxton circuit. With the release of Thruxton, we are expanding our UK offering to back-to-back builds, and I've really assembled a great regional collection of road racing circuits. Often referred to as the fastest circuit in the UK, this 3.79 kilometre circuit hosts a wide variety of racing in real life, including British touring cars and recently British F3 and British GT. and has seen cars reach speeds over 190 miles per hour. Visually, the circuit has some similarities to nearby Silverstone, and both are RAF airfields in the 1940s. The iRacing art team have really done a spectacular job with Thruxton, building upon the processes they used at Cadwell Park. They incorporated drone-captured photogrammetry. They love these big words, don't they? Into the in-sim artwork. At Thruxton, you will find the incredible detail across the landscape, including a fully drivable infield airstrip. So there you go. So we're going to look at Thruxton in a bit more detail. So if you don't know where this track is, it's located near Andover in Hampshire in England, and it is one of the UK's most iconic and fastest racetracks. Known for its high-speed nature and technical challenges, it is a favourite amongst drivers and spectators alike. So what makes it so special? Thruxton is renowned as the fastest circuit in the UK, with average top speeds exceeding 110 miles an hour for many categories. The layout stretching 2.356 miles or 3.793 kilometres. It features a series of sweeping corners and flat-out straights. Drivers must balance bravery and precision, as maintaining speed is crucial to competitive lap times. The circuit consists of 11 turns. Some of them we're going to go into detail. So complex. There's a corner called complex. Sounds difficult already. It's a tight chicane requiring heavy braking and precise cornering. Church Corner. Infamous as one of the fastest corners in UK motorsport, where courage and commitment are tested. And finally, Club Chicane. A last-minute challenge before the start-finish straight, offering overtaking opportunities. So that to me already sounds like Dive Bomb Bonanza. The track's design rewards smooth, controlled driving, not dive bombing by the way, as many mistakes at high speeds can lead to significant time loss. Originally a World War II airfield, Thruxton transitioned to motorsport in the 1950s. By 1968, it became a permanent circuit and has since hosted numerous prestigious events. Its historical significance and challenging nature makes it a reward venue in British motorsport. So what else does Thruxton host? Well, it hosts the British Touring Car Championship, one of the track's headline events, offering thrilling close contact racing. It also offers something for the superbike fans, highlighting the track's challenge for two-wheel racing. And finally, it also does club racing and track days, and it is a hub for amateur racers and track day enthusiasts. Thruxton does offer driving experience with supercars, single-seaters and classic cars, allowing enthusiasts to test their skills on this legendary circuit. Its open layout and lack of elevation changes provide excellent visibility for spectators. Thruxton's combination of history, speed and challenge has earned it a special place in motorsport, and it's good to see that iRacing are finally bringing it to the service. Drivers respect it for the skill it demands, while fans appreciate the exciting battles it consistently delivers. So whether you're a driver chasing the ultimate lap time or a fan soaking up the atmosphere, Thruxton Circuit is a must-drive destination in the world of racing. So I'm really looking forward to Thruxton. I've been and watched the touring cars several years ago now with a wife, and we found it really enjoyable. And as you said, you can see what's going off around most of the track from most viewing areas because it's pretty flat. So I'm looking forward to some close racing around there, high speed as well. I'm a bit worried about dive bomb on that last little chicane as well, but we'll see how it unfolds. So that's the Thruxton track, folks, coming to Season 1, 2025. Okay, continuing on, we have Hussett Speedway. Announced in the last quarter and now ready for release, Hussits is a 3/8 mile dirt oval in Brandon, South Dakota. Hussits has a long history of racing going back all the way to 1953 and was renewed in 2020 with new ownership and was featured on the All-Star circuit. As well as being featured in the iRacing sim, Hussett Speedway will eventually be released in World of Outlaws Dirt Racing 24 as a DLC. Now we're going to look into this track because of I think we don't cover too many dirt tracks on the podcast, but I thought since it was announced in the development lab, we will look into it in a lot more detail. Hussett Speedway is located in Brandon, South Dakota, and is one of America's most iconic dirt tracks, known for its thrilling sprint racing and electric atmosphere. This high-banked oval has a rich history in grassroots motorsport. Hussett Speedway is a 0.6-kilometre high-banked dirt oval, perfectly designed for fast and action-packed racing. Its steep banking and compact layout encourage close competition and daring overtakes, making it a fan favourite venue for intense dirt track racing. It was opened in 1954. Hussett Speedway has been a cornerstone of dirt racing for over 6 decades. Originally a family-owned track, it has hosted countless legendary events for many racing stars making their mark here before progressing to national stages. Hussett Speedway is known for its focus on sprint car racing, but also features other thrilling dirt racing categories, such as sprint cars, were the main attraction for both the 410 and 360 cubic inch engine classes, delivering high-speed drama. Late models and modifieds, providing variety and showcasing driver skill in handling different dirt setups. And other special events like the High Bank Nationals draw national attention and top tier talent. But what is it about the challenge for the driver? It's high banking, so it enhances speed but requires precise handling to avoid losing control. You have tight racing lines with limited space. Drivers must balance aggression and strategy to secure overtaking opportunities. And there's also the variability of the dirt condition itself, depending on weather and where. But overall, it's a great for the spectators. Hussett Speedway offers excellent facilities and views for fans, ensuring the action is never missed. Family-friendly atmosphere and regular events make it a vibrant community hub for motorsport enthusiasts. The track is deeply ingrained in the local culture, celebrated as a breeding ground for racing talent, and a symbol of South Dakota's rich motorsport heritage. Under new ownership in recent years, Hussett Speedway has seen revitalisation efforts, securing its place as a premier dirt racing venue. Hussett Speedway is more than just a racetrack. It is a showcase of raw talent, adrenaline, and the spirit of grassroots in motorsport. Whether you're watching the thrilling high-speed battles or experiencing the energy of a packed grandstand, Hussett Speedway delivers an unforgettable racing experience. So that is a brand new track, dirt oval racetrack coming to iRacing at the start of Season 1 2025. So we've covered the new cars and the new tracks. There's a couple of others that's had a refresh. So New Hampshire Motor Speedway has had a refresh, and the Las Vegas Motor Speedway has also had a refresh. But I'm keen to allow time in the podcast to talk about a brand new feature, that is the debris refresh. iRacing has the best dynamic track dynamics or DTD system in sim racing, supported by multiple devs with experience creating dynamic track systems in 3 racing sim games. This foundational system powers a multitude of elements and factors that dynamically change around our tracks, where weather, track activity, and time can all create change to the surfaces and on-track experience. DTD evolved considerably with the addition of rain, but hadn't seen a core improvement before rain for some time. The Season 1 build, DTD, will be improved to track and render dynamic gravel and mud. It will also be enhanced so we can dress areas of the track to be debris strewn, a factor in real life that we don't currently have. For example, the shoulder of the road along Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans is littered with debris in real life, and racers avoid it. However, in iRacing, it's pristine and has led to unrealistic lines. So they're saying that debris refresh solves this problem. Now, let's just think about that for a minute. Now, I totally get real world gravel, debris, mud, car parts from crashes are strewn across the track. And what comes from that? Punctures. Your tyres will receive a puncture. Now, it does say that future evolutions of debris refresh set as a foundation for additional tyre features such as puncture damage. Now, iRacing at the moment, other than people crashing into you, doesn't have general wear and tear failures of your car usually anyway across all the cars, I believe, unless you've had a bump. There's no brakes that fail. There's no tyre, shall we say, that demolds itself. In the rain, there's no windscreen wiper that fails randomly. So how are iRacing going to simulate that and it be fair across all drivers? Because what if one piece of gravel can cause you a puncture, which we know in real life it can? If that one piece of gravel punches your tyre and the guy or girl behind follows your same line, is it also going to puncture their tyres? Now, in the real world, probably not, because that one piece of gravel has now flown off somewhere else or still embedded in that driver's tyre. So how does that make it fair for you, that individual, to get a puncture for somebody else chucking gravel on the track? So that's something for us all to consider, especially iRacing, because it's pretty fair at the moment from a road condition point of view. I'll be really interested in how they're going to manage that. But that's for the future. But it will be interesting in how it looks as Season 1 2025 progresses. Now, there's still a hell of a lot more to go through if we desired on Greg's announcement. But I just want to touch base on one more thing this week, which is the graphics engine enhancements. Now, this is scary for all iRacers, depending on the specification and age of graphics cards, PCs, etc. So we know, and we've heard through several development announcements, that the team are working heavily to improve the graphics engine itself and build their own, which is fine. So there's a section in the current announcements which gives us an update. Now, visually, you can see the difference with the pictures that Greg's provided. The old version, or current, shall we say, on the left of the of an orange looks like maybe the Jet car or an Indy car. Outside a Cinemark Express somewhere probably in America somewhere. Now, the orange does pop more, the blue pops more, but it's more the background that is impressive. You can see there's a lot more detail on the glass frontage of the building. So there is clearly a difference, but what does the article say? So it says, we recently shared the exciting news that our stacked graphics team have begun the incredibly important and extensive task of building a new graphics engine for the iRacing sim. This engine will transform iRacing graphically and also in terms of performance. However, that will take some time, and it is not our intention to leave iRacers without graphics improvements between now and then. We are super excited that Season 1 will, and I'm stressing here, will, include a significant improvement to our specular lighting model, where we have refined our environment map filtering to more closely align with our PBR lighting model. We've also improved math, which formerly led to a result that was less realistic than desired. Previously, the reflected scene was both too bright and too blurry. Additionally, we are no longer rendering specular into the cube map. This has led to shaded areas appearing too brightly lit and even shiny. The combination of these changes helps bring new life to iRacing models and environments. And it basically says take a look at the screenshots below to see for yourself. Note how the orange colour, although it's an IndyCar, pops with clarity never before seen on iRacing. Note the cladding near the movie theatre side and how it now comes to life and interacts with the sky and light. Note the sky imparts far more impact both on the world and the car in the brighter Porsche GTP scene that it does in the darker one, which is the old lighting. Additionally, we have made an effort to correct the overlay strong influence of the colour yellow on our rendered world. Now, through our more advanced lighting, the remaining inaccurate hue will be addressed, and we're really excited about that. So, yes, I totally agree. The changes are going to be very, very good if your graphics card is up to dealing with it. So that's really where I want to finish this week's podcast from a development point of view. Amazing announcements. I'm personally excited for all the new cars and tracks and even the graphics improvements. And there's some very, very futuristic development work going on for future builds for us, the iRacers. So bravo, big thumbs up from me for what Greg's released this week. And I hope you, iRacers, you're also excited by the upcoming Season 1 build. It's only weeks away, so I can't wait. First in the news is a catch-up on how the FIA F4 Sim Magic Global Championship finished. So the championship goes to Luke McEwen after he claimed a runner-up and a win at Watkins Glen. The 2024 FIA Sim Magic F4 Esports Global Championship Series came down to the final lap of the season on Saturday afternoon, following a championship-setting race at Fuji Speedway earlier. There were just 3 left in the running. 2 contenders from Spain, Alexandro Sanchez and Aaron Vazquez, and 1 from the United Kingdom, Luke McEwen. All 3 drivers were racing for the European region, all 3 drivers teammates, but only one could claim it after 4 rounds and 8 races. When the dust settled at Watkins Glen, it was McEwen who was crowned as champion. On the final lap, McEwen and Vazquez made contact, forcing the Spaniard off the track, allowing for McEwen to take the crown. It didn't feel great winning it that way, but looking at the replay, I don't think there's anything I could have done, McEwen explained post-race. There were no further penalties following the contact towards McEwen, so the results were deemed official as they were. McEwen collects $10,000 as a champion, while Sanchez and Vazquez take home $4,000 and $2,000 of the total $25,000 prize purse, respectively. The top 10 all earn a piece of that prize, with podium finishers from each race also receiving a chunk of the cash as well. Coming into the final double-header round, Vazquez led the way, but by only a couple of points, despite not having a win yet on the season. Sanchez and McEwen were right within striking distance, but technically there were eight drivers still eligible for the title, mathematically entering Fuji. The top 3 competitors would finish in the top 4 by the end of qualifying, with Sanchez on the pole, McEwen in second, and Vasquez in fourth. Incredibly, that's how they would finish, despite the race taking on similar qualities as of Spa, where the race unfolded. The first corner was hotly contested, as was the 10th corner through the event. That is where a ton of contact through the field took place. While Sanchez and McEwen set themselves up for a drag race to the checkers, Vasquez was mired back in sixth coming to the final corner, ahead of Gordy Much, United Kingdom, and Elliot Vaillant from France. They came together battling for fourth. Vasquez split the difference and finished fourth, with Sanchez was able to fend off McEwen and Czech Republic's Martin Kadicic. The result flipped the script entering into the final race of the season at Watkins Glen. Vasquez dropped to third, 2 points behind McEwen, but 8 points behind the new leader Sanchez. With a second place finish, Sanchez could take the title no matter what. Unfortunately, a 10th place qualifying effort put him on a fence, while Vasquez and McEwen were able to take off from the front row. If Sanchez couldn't get up to the challenge, it would be a straight-up brawl between Vasquez and McEwen for the title. After a few laps, Vasquez and McEwen had established themselves in the top two, with teammate Much playing defence in third to the rest of the field. Sanchez, meanwhile, originally lost the draft train after a rigorous battle with Scotland's Graham Carroll. Sanchez continued to push, and by the end of the fifth lap, he was back in the draft, looking to make quick moves up to fight at the front. Unfortunately, his chances ultimately came to an abrupt end when he got together with Kadicic out of the inner loop, incurring a meatball flag's amount of damage. He could mathematically have still won the title if the other two had their races end prematurely, but that was never realised in the final battle to the end. So, congratulations to the first inaugural champion. That is Luke McEwen from United Kingdom, with Sanchez in second and Vasquez in third. Our second series we've been following on the news is the IndyCar Book Kicker iRacing Pro Series. Those who tuned in for a battle for the win at the Milwaukee Mile on Thursday night were likely disappointed to see co-ender eSports Michael Constantini completely dominate the 9th round of the 2024 IndyCar Book Kicker iRacing Pro Series season. Constantini sorely needed the boost after a season of disappointments, often finding trouble not of his own doing while competing near the top of the boards consistently. At Milwaukee, Constantini took the pole and never surrendered the top spot, leading all 120 laps en route to his first victory in the series. "What a season it's been," Constantini said post-race. "How relieved I am to get back into the victory lane once again this season. I have worked very, very hard this week. I feel like I have had a really good car, but honestly, it just feels so good after such a terrible season. I have to thank everyone on the team and everyone else who supported me and helped me through this season and prior." Behind Constantini's dominance, his teammate Jordan Caruso managed to finish second, up one spot from where he started. Apex Racing Team's Luke McEwen started second and finished third, while Team Redline's Florian Leberge and Apex Racing's Academy's Dan Amur rounding out the top five. Behind the top five, however, the real race action was going down, and a championship was nearly decided after 120 laps of nail-biting racing action. Team Redline's Diogo Pinto and private label Team Hype's Philip Kraus, the stars of the Thursday night show. To clinch the championship one race early, Pinto needed to be 50 points ahead of the rest of the field. Anyone within 49 points would be eligible to win it next week at Nashville Superspeedway in the perfect conditions. Pinto's night didn't start as high as he would have liked, however, capturing the 16th best time in qualifying, right behind his closest championship rival teammate Eduardo Leo. Leo entered the night 35 points back, second in the championship. His average finish on ovals tended to be better than Pinto, but despite qualifying, adding to that claim, Leo didn't have the race pace as the points leader. The third man in the race for the championship already had 2 oval wins coming in, but following some late race shenanigans at Laguna Seca last week, Kraus was forced out of qualifying, instead starting in 26th, with a lot of ground to make up to even stay in the fight for another week. Constantini brought the field to the green, but only a few laps in, things got hectic in the back of the field. Satellite Racing's Adam Crane and the 2 Williams eSport entries of Jaden Munoz and Soto Muto got together while racing for 22nd, right in front of Kraus. While the trio wrecked up the inside wall, Kraus made such an evasive manoeuvre that sent him into a slide and into the outside wall, causing damage to his front wing. An early setback, but Kraus was still in the fight. Pinto, meanwhile, had worked his way up a few spots, while Leo was holding pace. On the ensuing restart, Pinto moved his way up into 11th, while Leo maintained in 15th. Kraus, meanwhile, was picking off cars one by one, doing his best to stay careful with the others around him. While he got into Leo's rear wing, his progression stopped, but Leo put on a masterclass in defence, while 3 cars ahead of him were dancing around themselves. It came to a point on lap 49 when Coanda Esports Michael Jenny, Tamas Setups Tamas Simon, XR Racing Engineering Xavi Ross and Leo all collided on the front stretch. Kraus navigated the wreckage and all of a sudden Pinto and Kraus were nose to tail in 11th and 12th. The field came down for service, good to make it to the end from there, and got the restart just before halfway. Positioning jockeying continued through the remainder of the race. Kraus was in a sea of Team Redline with Pinto, Sam Kuter and Gustav Ariel all around him. They put their cars in precarious positions so that Kraus couldn't get entry or exit of the corner that he wanted. It came down to a head on lap 67 when Pinto took a look on Kraus entering turn 3, while Drago Racing's Ricardo Rico already outside of the 99. Rico went round after contact and collided one of the other private label Team Height machines, Jason Brophy, but Kraus was still able to continue. It didn't stop there. In a Team Redline sandwich, Kraus attempted to pass Coulter, but Pinto ultimately managed to get by them both for 9th. Kraus picked up Coulter a few laps later. Then a few laps after that, he finally cleared Pinto and set sail, but perhaps too late to make any headway on the top of the leaderboard without yellow intervention. Kraus caught his teammate Robert Malzecki III, who was racing Coanda Esports Elliot Veyron, for 6th. He managed to get by, but without a yellow flag. 6th would be the best he could muster after starting 26th. Kraus will need to hope that Pinto started to fall off behind him to cut down on some of that lead. But on the contrary, Pinto picked up the race pace, catching the Veyron-Malzecca battle within a couple of laps to go. Veyron lost part of the wing on his nose, forcing him out of the right to struggle with a home finish of 12th. Pinto, not content with 8th, managed to work over Malzecca and at the line brought home 7th. The points loss was minimal and the 43 points between the two only shrunk to 41. So when it all said and over and done with. So the championship top 3 is Eduardo Leo with 234 points, Philip Kraus 242 points, and still in the lead, Diego Pinto with 283. One race left, the National Super Speedway. So listen in on iRacing News for let's see who wins the championship. Good luck to all racers. Well, that's the end of another podcast, folks. Hope you enjoyed that one. Just an apology for last week for our Audible podcast listeners. The montage was too long. I've been told off by the wife, not thinking about you guys enough. So I'll learn from that. So bear with us as we're still going through a few teething problems combining both the Audible and the YouTube channel. Other than that, there's another interview coming up soon, and it's all about the Radical. So look after yourselves. I'll see you on the track soon. Good iRacing.